Hello friends, Masha here. Today I am especially eager to be coming to you with this video to geek out on Marseille through showcasing one of the earliest partially surviving 17th century Tarot de Marseille attributed to Nicolas Rolichon with its complete restoration, full restoration having been completed by the incredible card maker from Italy by Marco Benedetti. I'm so thrilled and excited about this addition to my tarot library now, but I've had quite a bit of a journey to get here. When it comes to Nicolas Rolichon tarot, for the longest time, I must admit, I resisted getting it. One of the main reasons, which I found now attractive, but one of the main reasons for that was the mystery surrounding the Nicolas Rolichon tarot, which of course left me unconvinced about not only its dating but also its existence. Well, because also the whereabouts of the originals, they remain unknown. Another reason was that there are only 35 surviving images, to which we refer now as Nicolas Rolichon tarot, right, from the deck, from the original sheet that we know of. And until recent, we only had an option of getting a major arcana only of Nicolas Rolichon. But look, fast forward a few years today, after having researched a little, having asked questions and having gotten clarifications about Nicolas Rolichon, I am at more ease with its early origins, and yes, today I would say eagerly buy into the mystery and into this tarot, of course, which predates the infamous Jean Dodal tarot, which carries much resemblance, as you will see, with the Nicolas Rolichon tarot de Marseille. But then look, what can I say? Having access to the earliest decks of their tradition excites me greatly, and the Rolichon seems to be the earliest, if not, well, one of the earliest, if we do count the Philippe Vachier tarot, surviving tarots, which adheres to what we know as standard type 1 tarot de Marseille pattern. I'm leaving Jean Noblet out of this conversation because Jean Noblet doesn't really fully fit into that standard type 1 tarot de Marseille pattern, so I'm not going to be featured in this video today. So yeah, long story short, now that I'm holding this beauty in my hands, I am Team Rolichon. Well, this particular version of Rolichon restored by Marco Benedetti. I find this tarot very charming. Agree with Marco when he mentioned that in his view for type 1 Nicolas Rolichon is the most beautiful. I kind of lean towards that now as well, but also for me this tarot is so fun, and I hope you will see, due to the restoration process and the inspiration that Marco drew from historic decks, how fun and unique this particular tarot is. So yeah, let's now take an up-close look first at the print of the original sheets containing those original 35 images, surviving images from the Rolichon tarot, and then straight after, of course, we will chat about and look at all of the cards of this Nicolas Rolichon tarot of Lyon, restored by one of my most favorite card makers, Marco Benedetti. Yes, first to the copy of the original 2 sheets I printed from Marco's page, which by the way is linked for you in the description of this video below. Now these 2 sheets feature the original black and white images of the complete set of 22 trumps of the original Rolichon tarot, with only 13 minor arcana images. So we are here with 35 images altogether. First published in the French magazine titled La Rose Mensuelle. Yeah, pardon my French. But anyway, so first published in the French magazine in 1919. It's still unknown how and where this French magazine obtained these images. What is very interesting and special about the Rolichon tarot images is that, as you can see here, the quality, right? They come from immaculately preserved wood blocks. And in Marco's opinion, these drawings were completed by a finer artist than those of the infamous Dodal and now Payen, Jean-Pierre Payen and Jean Payen tarots. Just pause the video and look up close, for those who are interested, of course, at the lines in these images, or even better, if you are as interested in this tarot as I am now, save the images from Marco's Facebook page. Well, I saved mine, and then I printed mine as well, just to have them for reference. And for the restoration of the Rolichon tarot, Marco actually told me that he acquired the original of that French magazine, this 1919 or 100-year-old French magazine, La Rose Mensuelle. Yeah, so that's that. And while I'm on it, I need to say that everything I have learned about the Rolichon tarot comes from what Marco shared with me, and you will hear me mentioning more interesting details Marco shared with me when we get to the cards. But I also have this essay by Thierry de Police, and also I'm referencing like bits and pieces I researched online when I first learned about the Rolichon tarot. Okay, how these images came to be dated and identified and recognized as Nicolas Rolichon tarot. Well, the surviving 2 of coins image, and this is Marco's restoration of it, colored Come to the Rescue here. And it's actually rather fortunate that this important peep card survived through the years. So yeah, 2 of coins. Here we read faked Lyon par Nicolas Rolichon, right? Made in Lyon by Nicolas Rolichon. But which Nicolas Rolichon though? That is unclear either, as there were 2 of them, the father and the son, and because of the records of them being 2 card makers in Lyon, the Rolichon tarot now is dated by historians as a 17th century tarot. Well, yeah, not conclusively again. As I mentioned, there's a lot of mystery about this tarot. So looking at the history, reading the article from Thierry de Police, looking at my notes from Marco, what I read from them, from the information available, you may ask, this tarot, can we date it late 16th century or earlier 17th century or late 17th century? So yeah, from my understanding, it's yet to be determined for sure, but from the information available, it does seem, well, from what I read from Marco's notes, we can safely place this tarot well, the tarot wood blocks, right, originally used for this sheet, having been completed before 1635. Yet, once again, the historian Thierry de Police moves the dating of this tarot to the late century. Again, conclusive or not, I'll leave it to you. But look, yeah, I'm not historian. So what is exciting to me is that the wood blocks used for these engravings were masterfully executed, and by work I can see, and if we trust that these ones are the original engravings, they have been not just masterfully executed, but also they were preserved flawlessly, as hardly we see any breaks in the lines, right, in here, in the images, and of course in Marco's deck, as you will see in a few moments. Yes, so as the result, what we have here in these sheets are some of the earliest surviving tarot images following the Marseille tarot tradition, type 1 tarot de Marseille. Okay, we are finally getting to this deck, but then didn't I mention that this is a geeking out on Marseille kind of video where I don't make excuses for the length and for going on to different excursions, right? Historic excursions, images, details. So yes, here is the Rolichon tarot with the magician on the cover of the handmade box from Marco that this tarot comes in. Now, after this lengthy preamble, I'm really excited actually to share this Nicolas Rolichon Tarot de Marseille from Marco Benedetti with you. When it comes to the box, I trust Marco refers to this box style as a telescopic two-part box with the top part that sits on top of the actual box, very sturdy with thumb holes, but yes, the top part sits on top of the actual box where the cards, as you can see, are stored. So the box is super nice, and it will look really great on my gradually growing shelf where I display my decks from Marco. I think now I have enough decks to kind of the whole shelf will be, or maybe 1.5 shelves now will be dedicated to the decks that I have from Marco Benedetti. Now, what we read here, right through the front of that second bottom box, is that Tarot de Marseille faked à Lyon par Nicolas Rolichon. Tarot de Marseille made in Lyon by Nicolas Rolichon. Tarot de Marseille faked à Lyon par Rolichon. It kind of rhymes, right? But yes, restored by Marco Benedetti. It looked like he completed the deck in 2019, but the handmade version that I have was done in April 2023, so it was last year. And it's you will see it's absolutely delicious. And what we see here, of course, on the box is the pattern of the box is purple and white, as we do see in the deck. And while I'm kind of in this, you can probably see that the box is very like white and purple, and the cards, the art paper used for the cards, are just tiny little bit off-white. It does kind of have this white look, but it's just tiny little bit of like milk of white color, which I really, really love for the cards. But yes, so they're the backs of the cards. Let me just put the box here on the side because it's a really nice looking box. So with the card backs of the Rolichon tarot, they feature this recurring pattern which resembles a Maltese cross kind of placed inside of a hexagon. You may remember a similar pattern from the backs of the Anonymous Tarot of Paris, of Jean Noblet and Viville, although kind of they're a little bit larger in size, but the pattern is very similar, if not the same. And now, finally, to the cards. Yeah, so just slightly tiny bit of white. Here the backgrounds are, and these cards are printed on very pleasant to touch, softly textured art paper. I'll just bring it in, and I'm filming this video in the evening, but kind of the lamp helps you to see the texture, especially where the colored parts are done, just really visible, and it feels really, really lovely as well. And with that, the sound, let me just, they're handmade cards, the sound that these cards make, it's just so airy and ethereal, very satisfying to my ear. And these cards will be a joy to shuffle, and I will do just that at the end of the video, just to demonstrate that to you. But yes, beautifully sounding, very light, softly textured art paper. The handmade cards from Marco, they just they really most delightful, and also given the quality, I trust this tarot is 50 euros. I paid for it, and like it's worth every euro, right? Because the quality we get with these cards, and also Marco is just so nice and easy to approach. Like, I mean, I always have, when I have questions, I just kind of approach and ask, and he always responds. And now that we are moving to the cards, as we are here with the perfectly preserved engravings of the complete major arcana, all Marco had to do is, of course, kind of get those images on the computer, right? But also to fill these images with color. And Marco told me that he opted for the flat colors, basing them on the later Payen and Dodal tarots, as both the later Dodal and Payen, well, assuming Rolichon is the earliest, as Dodal and Payen's, two Payen tarots, they very closely resemble the Rolichon. I hope Marco will be okay with me saying that the style we see here when it comes to the colors, right, the color choices, and let's use the Magician as an example, the color feeling, like feeling the lines, right, the images, the originals with the color, the very much this color scheme very closely resembles to me the Jean-Claude Flanois Magician. And yeah, so you can see that it's from Jean Dodal, right, restored by Jean-Claude Flanois, and this is my hand stenciled copy, and that would be the Jean Dodal facsimile version that you can also, of course, you can see much resemblance that this Batailleur has with Jean Dodal, which are very likely, right, to be after, well, depending on what, 50, 60, 70 plus years after the Rolichon, if the information, if we can trust the historic information we have. And this is the Magician from Jean Payen Tarot. Once again, you can see the resemblance very much, even that line there around the eye with the Rolichon. It's actually, the full bag is featured in Rolichon, when in other decks it's sort of partially cut. But yeah, so that's another deck from Marco that I have, type 1. I do have a walkthrough with that I will be referencing here in this video today. But yeah, so let's have a little flip through the Nicolas Rolichon Tarot. as you may see, the faces in the Rolichon tarot, they seem to be friendlier. To me, they are friendlier and softer than we see in other type 1 Tarot de Marseille decks, such as Dodal and especially the Payen 1713, known as the cranky Payen with cranky faces. And I do very much like the body language, the facial expressions of the tarot characters in this deck. And also I do love the charm of it, because while I do like the cranky, I enjoy seeing crankiness in the faces of the characters. I also do love seeing charming faces in my historic tarot cards, just again referencing Marco's Payen, so you can see the resemblance in the wood block. And the Justice card is interesting because if we have a look again at you will see the blues, you will recognize this deck. I don't need to bring the box all the time, right? So in here, Justice is looking straight ahead with at us with her eyes open, where in the Rolichon, her gaze is downcast, which for me kind of refers to sort of like, I guess, a merge between the opened eye Justice and the Justice with the blindfold, right? As she more kind of gazing past her nose somewhere down. And I do appreciate this in this historic deck. Oh, lovely Hermit. As you can see, the soft expression in the face of the Force. I do very much like it for type 1. It's very different to what I'm used to. And our Death card, the Death is walking over to the left, which is sort of uncommon for type 1, traditional type 1 Tarot de Marseille. I mean, you may remember, of course, seeing Death going to the left in the Noble Tarot, but I'm talking about the traditional, right? Traditionalized, if you will, type 1 Tarot de Marseille. And here again, just an example of what we would normally see in our type 1 Tarot de Marseille. But in here, in Rolichon, Death is moving over to the left. Our Temperance, in Dodal, Temperance is bare-breasted, when here she is covered. Again, beautiful, soft face, almost like lost in thought. And then in the Payen Tarot, she is also, her the whole of her body is covered. Devil. The Tower. And the Star, as we see, I will just bring it in the original. Maybe just nice to put it next to the original sheet as well, right? So yeah, have a look here. We are with the Star card, and you shall see in here the little bird in the original print, the original engraving, is uncolored, and that's what we observe also in Rolichon Tarot Restored by Marco Benedetti. So Marco chose to keep this detail where we only see the outline of the bird. So it is white, as we can see, right? And instead, opposed to, let me just move this one, I only have two hands, opposed to the little black bird that we are familiar with in our Tarot de Marseille. So with the white bird, it signifies Marco's attribution of the woman to be Venus. And I think that is a very lovely detail that I love to see actually, and to kind of add something different to the Rolichon tarot. Seeing this little white bird, of course, made me pull out this card, this star card from Marco's own, the deck that he created himself, Marco Benedetti's Visconti homage deck. And we are here also with a white bird referring to Venus. So such a lovely deck, and especially if we think and if kind of all the information, it's more likely to be credible, I want to believe now, right, about the Rolichon, but just how skillfully those wood blocks were executed, that we can have such clean lined deck on our hands. Of course, laurels and the cape for type 1 world card. And we made it all the way into the Fool. With the Fool, what you do see, the buttocks of the Fool are exposed here, which I actually much prefer to the dangling beads that we see in the Noble tarot. And just to give you for the Fool, this is facsimile Jean Dodal, and this is Payen 1743. So you can just see the coloring in here. But yeah, these two decks very much resemble this Fool. Okay, we've made it all the way to the minors now. As you remember, when it comes to the minor arcana, there are only 13 surviving Rolichon images. So we have 12 on this page, plus the two of cups, two of coins that I already shared with you, and we will look again as we flip through. I put two of coins back into the deck. So yeah, 13 surviving minors from the minor arcana, with a large number of 41 cards out of 78 that Marco had to restore, and he did that, as previously mentioned, through adopting the images from Jean Dodal, and Jean Dodal 1701, roughly, right, dating, and then Jean-Pierre Payen 1713 and Jean Payen 1743. So yeah, cups. The suit of cups. So in the suit and in the whole deck, the aces have survived, right? So we have 4 aces that we are lucky that have survived in Rolichon tarot, and this is the ace of cups. What I wanted to feature here is just more the proportions that Marco, of course, had to readjust. The card sizing is a little smaller if you do have Payen, right? So they're a little smaller, but at the end of the video, I will return back to the size of the cards. So yeah, the proportions have been readjusted, but this is the original Ace of Cups, just colored by Marco. And Two of Cups now. Just look at these adorable dolphin-like little faces. Marco here will include fake Lyon par Nicolas Rolichon, that this tarot is made in Lyon by Nicolas Rolichon, but restored by Marco Benedetti of Rome in 2019. I just pulled the Two of Cups just also to show you the proportion. This is, of course, the card that Marco restored, hence I'm reading it from the Payen deck to show you. Flip through. Five of Cups is also the original card. And yeah, Six of Cups, again, the cups are restored, but again, I just wanted to show you this aspect ratio difference side by side with Payen that Marco, of course, had to adapt to make these cards more cohesive. in the courts, in the suit of cups, when it comes to the court card, only the page, the valet of cups, survived. And I did pull because I know that the questions might be about court cards, so I'm bringing you just kind of them side by side here. So this is this is the original, right? So the original of this card has survived, and this is the payen. And then let's have a look at the knights, facsimile Dodal and payen, 1743. You can see, right, that striking resemblance that both of these decks possibly take after the Rolichon tarot, with the Queen of Cups. To me, the Rolichon, the Dodal resembles the Rolichon Queen, but again, they are the restored card, right? And why I'm sharing with you the payen and facsimile Dodal, because they're the decks that Marco drew his inspiration from to recreate, to make the full deck available to us. And then with the king, I immediately kind of thought of the King of Cups from Dodal. But again, see for yourself, right? The ace, again, aces are from the original. Interesting detail here in the Ace of Swords is just two kind of spears coming through, which generally we don't see in Marseille tarot decks. So with the swords, we only have 3 original cards present, which was the ace that you've just seen, and then 10 of swords and the cavalier. But then if you look at the suit of swords, right, so let's move from 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 is the original. But just have a look how cohesive the minors are in their proportions. So they do look very original to me, when only the original card that we hear with the lines colored by Marco is the 10 of swords. And then the Knight of Swords is the Rolichon's original, and with the Queen and the King, let's again just put them side by side to have a look. Here with the line work, they kind of, the payen and Dodal very much take after the Rolichon. I'm kind of looking more, the chords are more like Dodali for me, but yeah, very new deck to me, so I haven't really spent too much time with that, but I just wanted to get this video out so I can actually shuffle the cards. So yeah, that's for me. Carries more examples. Ace of Batons, again, all the aces. The deck Rolichon sheets come with all the aces surviving. Only, so the ace and then 5 batons and king of batons here will the original cards. So the 5 of batons, but again, as you can see, very consistent, right, with the restored patterns and the proportions that we see in the cards. So yeah, when I talk about that, right, so because the proportions, because the Rolichon tarot has smaller proportions compared to the Dodal and payen tarots, Marco had to adjust the proportional relationship in the images accordingly, and I think he's done a fabulous job with that. Just have a look at that, because that's one of the cranky queen in Marseille type 1 tarot, the Queen of Batons. And once again here, Dodal for me has a stronger resemblance This queen looks a little bit friendlier, more kind of thoughtful, gentle, when these versions, they are those cranky ladies of batons. And the king with the positioning kind of the eyes, right, just kind of slightly skew here. Dodal kind of resembles more to me, but also color wise, I guess. Look, I can't wait to hear what your thoughts on the resemblance on these cards, on Marco's choices, on this restoration of this deck. So the coins is our last suit for original card, the ace of coins, and then of course this two of coins, a very important image that helped in determining the history of this tarot, recognizing Nicolas Rolichon as the card maker, and that of course historians, they drew from this name to research the records where they found that Nicolas Rolichon, two Nicolas Rolichon, where the son and the father were card makers in Lyon, and that kind of allowed the historians to approximately date these images. So three of coins is the original as well. So ace of coins, two of coins, three of coins, and the queen of coins. Ace, three, the queen, and of course on that first sheet we have the two of coins. Yep. Was the four of coins, and I wouldn't have known, right, but Marco did mention to me that he included the Lyon's coat of arms, and well, that's the lion, right, on the shield. Level 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Again, very cohesive restoration there. And then we are here with the valet, our page. Again, for me, these two, they resemble each other more than the Payen 1743. The queen of coins, this is the original, right, image colored by Marco, and the queen, actually for me, very Payen. Yet her headpiece is kind of more Dodal. I love putting cards side by side, especially historic decks. I just get so much satisfaction and joy from it. The last one will be the king. So there we are with this last card, King of Coins. Before I forget, a bit of a card comparison size. So this is a US Games standard tarot card. I trust the height would be 12 centimeters, right? And that would be Marco's Rolichon. So little, probably just half a centimeter, 6 millimeters, possibly narrower, and shorter as well. Wonderful size. Let's just give these cards a shuffle. But even when I knock, can you hear this soft, cushioned, airy sound? I thought I will do it for my own pleasure, and I hope you enjoy the sound of my newest Nicolas Rolichon tarot, restored and completed and colored by Marco Benedetti. Let's have a look. Death, moving to the left. Purpose. Seven of Cups, so original 2 cards, restored. Original, 5 of Cups is the original. And of course the original Trump of the Empress. I am very happy with my new treasure. And here we have the Nicolas Rolichon Tarot de Marseille, beautifully colored and restored by Marco Benedetti. Marco's Facebook page and email, if you need to contact him, are linked in the description of this video below. And when it comes to this video, I guess you probably can see that I am a big fan. I'm now a big fan of Nicolas Rolichon Tarot. Well, this particular version of Rolichon Tarot, to be precise. For me, with the inspiration for the missing cards having been drawn by Marco from my favorite historic Marseille decks in Jean Dodal, Jean-Pierre Payen, Jean Payen, all this makes this tarot not only unique, but for me personally super fun. And while, of course, we might dream that the remaining missing cards, missing images would be found one day, I personally would rather spend my time thoroughly, they're flying around, thoroughly enjoying this merger of sorts, right, of Rolichon images with my favorite, as I mentioned, Dodal and Payens, and this integrator in me absolutely loves this new addition to my tarot library. But what do you think of these cards? And also do let me know in the comments below whether you have any decks from Marco Benedetti. I have a friend who I think has all of the decks from Marco Benedetti, but yeah, do let me know about yours. And if you do have a few, what are your go-to readers? I'm also, of course, always curious to hear whether you prefer type 1 or type 2 Tarot de Marseille. I'm personally leaning towards type 1. I prefer type 1 for most part, with the exception of one historic type 2 Tarot de Marseille, which I will be sharing with you in my upcoming video in the next week or two. But for now, I wish you a wonderful weekend, and I will see you in the next one.